Hi, Rob. Happy New Year.
Hey there, Michelle. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. And with the new year means that the holiday season is over, but our analysis is just beginning. So I know that you're working on a thorough content piece, analyzing all of the data and insights on what holiday 2020 looked like. So I want to pick your brain and get a teaser. So to start us off, like what were some of the most interesting things that stood out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. We're crawling through the data and really putting a wrap on the holiday. Certainly, it's not over where retailers are dealing with the deluge of returns from all the digital orders. But yeah, some really interesting insights are emerging. And I guess the biggest one is digital continued to rise. And, that was one of the most common questions I know I got throughout the summer and fall was what is digital? What is the holiday going to look like, given that we've had so much growth? I mean, if you think about back in Q1, we saw a 71% year over year increase in that quarter. And that, was just the average. There were plenty that were well over triple digits. And what we saw was 50% year over year increase for the holiday season that represents November and December. Certainly certain verticals like home and sporting goods were actually right around the 100% growth mark. But that was sustained, even though we did see major surge for the first three quarters of the year.
Wow, that's incredible. Record breaking for sure overall. And then some of those categories, just astonishing growth, going from quarter to quarter, really sustaining that high growth rate. And with that surge in digital came problems with the logistics industry that was not built to handle a 50% surge in holiday sales online. So did hashtag Shipageddon happen?
Yeah, it's interesting. It did, first of all, and thanks to our friends Scott Wingo and Jason Goldberg, who coined the term, it made its way throughout everything, whether it's social or traditional media. And we predicted early on, going back to June, that traditional carriers are going to have a major strain. And that did happen. Certainly, many retailers got creative with last mile delivery. And consumers felt the crunch, but really the winners, and this is really a bellwether for something to really take hold moving forward, is those retailers that had creative shipping options were the winners. Our data, when we look at it for the 5 days leading up to Christmas, as an example, those that had creative shipping options, whether that's pick up at curbside, in store, or drive through, saw a just over 60% higher growth in revenue than those that didn't. Really provided the convenience of buying it online with the confidence of picking it up in the store. And what really is fascinating about all of this is, retailers are essentially outsourcing the last mile to a large degree to consumers, and they were happy to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another prediction we had was that the holiday season demand would actually smooth out, that it wouldn't be tied to Cyber Week exclusively. Retailers started their discounts early and spread them out. And then we had Prime Day in October. Was that something else that we saw come true?
Yeah, you're right on with that prediction. And we did see a spike right around Prime Day. For those not named, Amazon really took advantage of the halo effect and really seized on that opportunity. But it didn't pull as much demand forward into October as we suspected. What we saw, though, was really a spreading out demand on both sides of Cyber Week. Before Cyber Week, the couple of weeks leading up, we saw a major surge. I mean, just to put it in perspective, for the Friday before Cyber Week, we saw well over 100% year over year growth. That's usually a sleepy day, right? Because consumers are waiting for that big deal, whether it's on Cyber Week or directly thereafter. And then the other piece was we saw revenue share, if you will, for the couple of weeks leading up to December, the big holiday of Christmas. And, it goes back to the prior point we made, is that those that had creative shipping options really were able to extend the holiday shipping cutoff date and take advantage of those last couple of days leading up to Christmas. And you know what? It paid off.
Yep. Yeah. So stores as fulfillment were definitely a competitive advantage when the logistics system was under strain due to all of that digital sales. But enough about data and insights. Did you do anything fun, experimental over the holiday?
It's interesting. I guess I maybe didn't. It was pretty boring, but my son turned me on to Mr. Beast Burger. Have you heard of him?
I did only because of his burger drop. It was the talk of Twitter. So maybe what was your experience? What was your son's experience with that?
Yeah, and it's fascinating, and it's really fascinating, as I mentioned, because it really is a trigger of what's going to happen, a sign of what's going to happen in this next year. Really, the battle to own the consumer relationship and doing it in really creative ways. And so, Mr. Beast Burger is an influencer on YouTube. My son does subscribe to his channel, and it's an interesting model where, of course, he gets revenue from advertisers, and he takes that revenue and then he turns it over and does charitable fun things with it, whether it's shopping sprees where people donate all the merchandise or other creative ways. And what he did was spun up a business, Mr. Beast Burger, without any of the traditional model that we think about or know today. He didn't, in spinning up 400 stores nationally, have to sign 400 leases or think about the delivery network. Really, he honed in or leveraged his social network of hundreds of thousands of followers to really get attracted to this new brand. And what he did, I'm up in the Northeast, he partnered with Bertucci's and utilizing their kitchens for the cooking. And then he partnered with last mile delivery like Uber Eats to get it to the customer's home. So all they were is a branding and marketing engine and used this ecosystem. So as consumers or consumer product goods companies, retailers, or influencers look to own the customer relationship and find new creative ways to reach them, they're thinking of new and creative ways on business relationships to get to market quickly without all of the baggage that they had to have before.
That's amazing. Like I said, I heard about it, but I didn't actually experience it. So how was the food?
You know, my son got the grilled cheese and he said it was pretty good. He's a connoisseur for that. I haven't tried the burger, so I'm gonna have to dial it up pretty soon.
Excellent. I love it. Thanks to your son for that experiment and for sharing it with us. I love it. And thanks for sharing all of your insights as far as holiday goes. I'm looking forward to reading the full rundown when it's published.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. You know, we've been on this journey for becoming retail for some time, and this is just an example, not the data, but really this anecdote around Mr. Beast Burger, that retail is being redefined, reimagined, even in the short several months that we've been doing this, and I can't wait to move it into the new year and see what happens. So thank you, and thanks for everybody for joining.